Hello guys.
Hi.
Welcome to this activity.
Yeah.
So now that you have learned how to define clear outcomes in the previous step, which was the incred outcomes,
Yes.
and you have now you have an actionable goal in front of you. And like we said, we're going to split it into steps. So now let's talk about the power leaps. The small steps, or the small steps that we take to achieve that outcome is called the power leaps. Yeah, so we'll do the power leaps activity now.
Okay.
This is an extremely important and useful activity, and you'll figure out now why I'm saying so. So what are power leaps? Power leaps are steps to accomplish our outcomes, like we just said. These have to be measurable. It's not a things to do list. It's more of an outcome based, time based, and clearly defined step that will eventually lead you to your outcome. Okay, so it's very nicely explained here. So outcomes are end game targets, meaning things you eventually want to accomplish. Most people give up the possibilities of achieving these outcomes as they seem impossible. However, there is a way to make them appear easier and achievable. The outcomes plus step is brilliant. It makes your outcomes seem achievable by breaking them down into power leaps. Each power leap then takes you closer to your final outcome. To make this work, we have to start at the end and work backwards. The human mind loves possibilities and is charged up if the brain does something big and new. So get ready to change your world. Okay, so here if you have a final outcome defined, we'll move backwards. We'll define the power leaps. We can have as many as 5 to 8 power leaps, but not more than that. Because if you have like 100 power leaps, it might make you a little bit lazy. So we'll have to have a rationalized number for the number of power leaps, maybe 3 to 5. Yeah, that is what we're going to do in this power leaps activity. Also, I'll just share a quick example of power leaps that will lead you to your ultimate outcome. For example, for somebody who wants to get into the training or coaching, his outcome could be, I will coach 50 people this year where I will get rupees 50,000 each. This is his outcome. So there could be a medium power leap, like a long-term outcome, and for a small power leap, which is a short-term or little task that he wants to do. So medium power leaps could be decide coaching dates and finalize the marketing campaign, the launch dates and things like that. And smaller tasks could be work out which kind of people I want to coach. But this has to come first, right? So that's why we are working backwards, and then you start working step by step.
Okay.
Hope this is clear.
Yeah.
So the outcomes that we have defined in the previous step, we're going to work on that, and we're going to work. We're going to do this power leaps activity now. Okay. So I'm going to share the manual with you. You already have it in your coaching books. Yeah, here it is. So here, you have to define on your outcome. You have to define at least 5 power leaps. Each power leap has to be an incred-based power leap. Again, it has to be measurable, actionable, achievable, and So just get started on that. After this, we have the refinement chart. It's on the next page. You'll see. Yeah. So in this refinement chart, So in this refinement chart, you'll have to first write down your outcome statement like you did, then your power leaps again here, and then let's make it incred based. So for that, you'll have to see who is responsible for this task, what is the start date, when should you complete this by, what are the resources that you need, what are the challenges which you might face, and ultimately when this power leap is achieved, what is the outcome. Yeah, so you'll have to refine it, and this is how you can make your power leaps incred based, right? So let's just get started on that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, done. So, why do you think we are doing that? Like, do you have any questions on this activity so far? Why are we breaking it down, or is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear, but to again rework it properly because the power leap has to be incred also, right?
Yeah. So I'll just share a bit of more clarity so that it helps you when you're doing it on your own at your house. So let's say you are setting a 5-year outcome, like we discussed, and for that you can have smaller 1-year power leaps, and within each year you can have like again smaller power leaps. So it's not just a one level process. You can break it down into as many steps as you want, but basically make the entire process increment based. Yeah. So if, for example, if I want to design a house, I want to set up a business. My first step could be get a blueprint made for the house, or choose the business model which I want to follow. Put a realistic deadline to that. When should this be complete by? Why am I allocating this task to someone? Am I doing it myself? So all this will be covered in your refinement chart, obviously. Then what are the materials required, resources required, finances, and so on. So power leaps, like we said, are more like action plans to reach the outcome. What are the things that you need to do? We get very motivated when we see small successes. So these are called evidence logs. Why evidence logs are important is because when your mind sees that whatever you want to achieve, you're coming closer to that at every step, it's more motivated. Otherwise, people start with their weight loss programs, don't see any change in the first week, and they just drop out because they don't see any evidence of that. So power leaps then again help you with that evidence, and that evidence works very magically, right? So yeah, so that's how it is. We have completed the activity. If there are any questions, you can ask me now.
It's okay.
Okay. So let's start by sharing the power leaps. What is your plan? What is it that your outcome, and what are your power leaps for that? So let's share. You want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Okay. So my outcome was to be fit and lose 9 kgs of weight by June 2020.
Yeah.
And for that I have my power leaps ready.
Okay, you have your power leaps.
Yes. So,
Cool. So let me just throw in a little surprise for you. I'm going to show you a very powerful technique how you can internalize this whole outcome of this activity, the power leaps that you have decided, and how your brain will see that, and how your brain will interpret that. And at the end, again, there's a surprise because we're going to make a little cake for you. So yeah, so I'll just show you how to do it. Yeah.
okay.
So Mithil, tell me what's your outcome?
Outcome?
Yeah.
Losing 9 kgs of weight
Okay.
in by June 2020.
Okay, so now that we have defined the power leaps, tell me your power leaps one by one,
Okay.
and I'm gonna show your brain. I'm gonna show you how your brain will look at. Like I'm gonna actually leap
Okay.
and take a very strong step for that.
Okay. So my first power leap is start waking up at 6:30 a.m.
Start waking up at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. That's
Yeah.
my first step,
Yes.
and I've done that.
Yes. And then after I'm used to waking up,
Yeah.
then is start hitting the gym
Start hitting the
and
gym.
do 1.5 hours of weight training.
1.5 hours of weight training.
Yes.
That's your second step.
Second power
So
leap.
that's your second power. Like you have to feel it.
Yes.
Your brain has to feel that power coming
Yes.
from inside of you.
Yes.
Okay.
And then is I'm going to measure my food and then cook the food.
Measure your food and
Yes.
cooking habits.
Yes.
Okay, that's your third step.
Yes. Then is measure my weight every day in the morning.
Measure your weight every day in the morning.
Yes.
That's gonna show you the progress.
Yes.
Yes.
And the last power leap is measure my body, have my body measurements every week.
The BMI index, you mean? BMI index.
No, it's like waist, thighs, arms, and everything.
Okay,
so
okay, okay.
That's where
So
the,
that's your final.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where the evidences are getting logged.
Okay, that's your evidence log. Okay, awesome. So yeah, so why are we doing all of this activity? Yeah, I hope it's making it very clear.
Yes.
But why are we doing this? We are doing this for accountability. So next week when we meet, I'm gonna ask you what action you took on your power leaps,
Okay.
and did you actually work on that or not?
Okay.
Because now you have committed that. You have committed that to yourself and to us. So you cannot go back on that, right? So I'm sure you guys see how this outcome and power leaps process is different from the goal setting that we were doing.
Yes.
Okay, because it's more action oriented and looks achievable in the real time.
Yeah.
Okay, so now It's cake time.
Cake time.
Yeah, your cake is almost ready.
I want a double chocolate.
But you're losing weight, remember that.
This cake is, you can only view it.
You can view it, your mind can
We are
have
going to
it.
eat it.
Yeah, your mind can have it.
Yeah, we are going to eat it.
Okay, so how this works is it's the same steps that we have been following. The base of the cake is the ultimate outcome that you define. The crust is the baselines and the E-codes, how they will be aligned. The layer 1 is the challenges that we defined in the refinement chart. Then layer 2 is the power leaps that you just discussed with me. And ultimately on the icing of the cake is the outcomes that you have achieved, because that makes you really happy. And that happiness is the little cherries on the cake. So, isn't that interesting? I have one blank one for you. You can take it, you can work on it, and
So here we have to write our outcomes.
yes,
and our
here you have to write down your process of how you followed. Fill it in, bring it to the team, bring it to the meeting next time. Yeah. And I want to remind you about the mastermind meets. It's a really powerful technique, because there you meet a lot of like-minded people. So that's why masterminds are very powerful. They put you on track. They don't let you deviate from your from the outcome that you want to achieve. So make sure you attend all of the mastermind meets, and make sure you finish all your assignments and tasks on time. Okay. So thank you. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Sure.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.